Welcome back to Unlimited Reads. You're with Chris, and thanks for joining me today as I will be doing the Would You Rather book tag, where I get to attempt to answer some seemingly impossible questions. Now, I've been tagged by Nerdy Kathy to do this one. I'm happy to have a go at it. Apologies to Kathy. She tagged me a little while ago and I haven't been filming much because I have been busy with other things, but I thought this one would be fun to have a go at. Now, if you haven't checked out Nerdy Kathy's channel, please do. She is a fellow Australian booktuber. She's quirky and funny, and her content is amazing. So if you haven't checked out her channel, the link is below, and please be kind enough to give her a like and subscribe because she is very good value. Okay, so there are 10 prompts to answer, so let's kick it off with prompt number 1, which is, would you rather only be able to reread your favourite book once every 10 years or be forced to read your least favourite book once a year? I think with this one I would go with being able to read my favourite book every 10 years. If my least favourite book is as bad as I think it is, I would rather pull my fingernails out. So there you go. Prompt number 2. Would you rather be forced to get rid of all your books by your favourite author or get rid of your entire library besides your favourite author? Now that is a really tough question. My favourite author is Stephen King, and I've spent years collecting Stephen King books. So I'd be... That's a really hard one. How do I answer this one? If gun to my head, I would say I'd have to get rid of... I just love all my books. I'd probably have to get rid of all my Stephen King books. That's a really tough question. Prompt number 3. Would you rather only be able to read very short books, less than 300 pages, or very long books at 700 pages? I think with my reading patterns, on average, I read a lot more shorter books than I do bricks. So I'd have to go with reading books of less than 300 pages because you can get through more. You can easily get bogged down and get burnout from reading overly long books all the time. So yeah, I think I'd prefer to read only very short books if I was forced to make that decision. Prompt number 4. Would you rather your favourite series get a terrible adaptation or never be adapted? Well, look, my favourite series is Jack Ryan, and it's already been adapted, so that's fine. But let's pretend that it hasn't been adapted. I would rather it be left alone than be a terrible adaptation. That's a pretty simple answer to that one. Prompt number 5. Would you rather an unfinished series have a terrible ending or remain unfinished forever? Yeah, look, if there's a long series and I was waiting for a big payoff and it was a big letdown, I would rather the series not end because you know, after committing to a long series and having been let down by that, yeah, it'd be pretty terrible. So I'd rather draw my own conclusions on an unfinished series, to be honest. Prompt number 6. Would you rather cut your reading time in half or cut your book buying budget in half? Well, that's a fairly simple one. I think I'd prefer to cut my book buying budget in half because I spend too much money on books. So it wouldn't really affect me if I did tone down my spending. I would rather not cut my reading time because it's really, really valuable to me. Prompt number 7. Would you rather be forced to listen to audiobooks at 3 speed or listen to audiobooks at half-time speed? Well, look, you know, whenever I do audiobooks, I listen at an average of 1.5 to 1.75. So if I was forced to listen to something at half speed, it would be torture for me. So I'd probably... That's a hard one too. Although three speed would be like a chipmunk and you wouldn't understand a word. So at the end of the day, I would rather be able to understand it. So I'd probably be forced to endure half speed just so that I can actually absorb the book properly. Prompt number 8. Would you rather only be able to read physically or only be able to listen to audiobooks? I think that's an easy answer. I would only like to be able to read physically because that's the bulk of my reading habits. So that was a pretty easy one. Prompt number 9. Would you rather be stuck reading a mix of 3 and 4-star books or read a mix of 1 and 5-star books? Well, look, a 1-star book to me, based on my reading patterns, would be a DNF. A book would have to be horrible for me to rate it 1 star. So I would rather a little bit of consistency of pretty good books at 3 and 4 stars. At least then you'd be able to still enjoy reading. If you know, it would be very hit and miss if you only were able to read 1 and 5-star reads. So consistency is what it's all about for me to answer that question with. Prompt number 10. Would you rather only watch your favourite booktuber or watch everyone besides your favourite booktuber? There is so much content out there. How am I going to answer this one? How do they expect me to answer this? This is just crazy. I've got a lot of people I follow on BookTube. Can I opt not to answer this one? I'd probably have to say watch everyone besides your favourite BookTube, but that's rough. That was hard. So there you go, guys. That is it for my Would You Rather book tag. They were really hard to answer, but if you're watching this and you want to have a go at it yourself, consider yourself tagged. I'm not going to tag anyone specifically. I just will leave it open for everyone to have a go at and see how you do, because you do have to really think and consider your answers carefully, because these questions are nearly impossible, and it's yeah, a lot of fun to do. But thanks to Nerdy Kathy for tagging me in this. It was a lot of fun and a bit of torture as well. But thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing. But until the next video, guys, happy reading.